Wilder said it himself. This was his coming up party. That was his own words. And this was 100% a cherry pick. He thought he was facing a washed up Fury who's been on a cocaine binge, a Jack Daniels diet, and was suicidal with mental health issues. And he thought, you know what, this is the perfect time for me to take him on now while he's been 3 years on the couch. And he will get that name as a bargaining chip for when he goes up against Joshua. That was the plan. The LDBC wasn't talking about Fury at all. That was a non-conversation before the fight was mooted to potentially be made. If anything, actually, they were very dismissive of Fury prior to that, not particularly rating him, not saying any great things about him other than the fact that he was washed up now and his fight against Fury was boring and wasn't that great. But then as soon as the potential opportunity was to make that fight, then suddenly he was the lineal champion, the third best after Ortiz, and this is 100% the fight that they should be making. And it was all because they wanted they wanted the accolade that came with Fury. Because at the end of the day, years from now, we're not going to know what the situation was with Fury. We're just going to see on BoxRec, we're going to see Wilder versus Fury with an L next to his name, with a little annotation saying knocked out in the eighth round or whatever. That was the plan. It was 100% a cherry pick. Now, what does that say about Wilder now that that's backfired on him? Because the feeling that I'm getting here now is that actually the rematch isn't the fight. I kind of get the feeling that Fury's going to be that. I've been there, done that. I can now fight for the Joshua. I can now position myself for the Joshua fight because that is the biggest fight in world boxing. It's bigger than Joshua Wilder because the the the, the British fighters are ruling the heavyweight division. We have got the better fighters in that division. I don't want to hear anything otherwise. We got Joshua Fury, while you just have Wilder, and I don't rate Wilder, but I'll give you that. And then, well, who's next after that? There are no Americans nowhere near that. Miller is nowhere near that. Brazil is nowhere near that. So where does I put any other American? After that, the next tier down is going to be White. I mean, I guess you can throw Ortiz into that, but his time is coming, it's drawing to an end. So there isn't anything after Wilder when it comes to the next American potential heavyweight champion coming through. I mean, Wilder hasn't even cleaned up in the American division, let alone on a world level. But I don't want to go off piste. So he went with Fury because he wanted the adulations that came with beating the lineal champion and someone who does have a name in this division. Yes, he has been out of the game for 3 years. Yes, he was 400 pounds at some point, 12 months ago. Yes, the guy was ready to top himself not too long ago. We got all those things, and he still didn't manage to beat him. What does that say about Wilder? If anything, Fury, I can't give Fury enough credit for just how clever he's been in this situation. He has used Wilder how Wilder thought he was going to be used. Now Fury was nowhere near a Joshua fight. When Fury was out of the game and he was taking shots at Joshua. Joshua was saying to him, "Mate, you can't even tie up your shoelaces at this moment in time because your belly's so big. Come back to me when you're fit." And for me, that is a mark of a champion because he wants to fight and beat the best Fury. He doesn't want the excuses of, oh, well, he's just come back and, he's been on drugs and he's 400 odd pounds at one point. He didn't want that. Now, Wilder has now wiped that. Has wiped that now for Joshua. Now, Joshua can legitimately fight Fury where people can't turn around now and say, oh, it's not the best Fury. He's just done 12 rounds with the baddest man on the planet. And for the most part, he was relatively unscathed. Yeah, I know he got knocked down twice, but I've never seen someone knocked down and get up. It's like it never happened. Even the 12th round, that was a heavy knockdown. I thought he was out. But he got up, and you know what? He dominated it. He dominated that round. Dominated it to a point where I was hoping that he can even it out by putting Wilder down. But he didn't really go for it. And that's Fury's downfall, is that he's not aggressive enough for my liking. But I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more in another video that I'll have up in regards to AJ and Fury matchup. But it was a cherry pick, and that's gone wrong. And so where does that leave Wilder now? Because you got the Wildettes and the LDVC zombies all saying, "Oh, this is the biggest fight in boxing." No, it's not. Not in heavyweight boxing. I mean, it's not. The Joshua and Fury is the fight. That's always been the fight. It was just whether or not Fury was ever going to get himself back into position. Wilder is only a big fight because Wilder is a belt holder. And I say he's a belt holder now because, in my opinion, he lost and he's just holding that WBC. So Fury, in a weird sort of way, when he said that when he beats him, he's going to hand the belt back to him, strange enough, he's kind of done that. Wilder knows he lost. His team know he's lost. Most of the people who watch that fight, deep down, they know that he lost. And you know what Fury's done? He's given the belt back to him. So Wilder now, he's just a belt holder at the moment. He's just holding the belt for if Fury wants to go back again, then they can have that on, or for Joshua to pick it up. And then he can just check out and spend his money, and we'll never see or hear of him again. Not in the boxing world anyway. So what does that say about Wilder? But where does that leave him? Because I've seen cherry picks go wrong in the past, and it can happen. And when you only have a plan A, and you think you're much better than what you are, and everybody around you telling you you're much better than you are, these are the things that happened. And he's had to eat a little bit of humble pie. Actually, not a little bit, a lot of humble pie. He's probably throwing up humble pie right now as we speak because he's had to eat a lot of it. But he's holding the belt now. And the only good thing that has come out of this, in terms of just being a general boxing fan and not fanboying for one or another, is that bum bashing season is now over. It's official. It's done. He can't go back to fighting C and D level fighters. Hopefully his fans and the Wildettes won't have that anymore. You know, he's fought, in inverted commas, as far as he's concerned, the second best in Ortiz and the third best in Fury. Where do you go from there? You got to fight that caliber of fighters again moving forward. You're 41 fights now into your career. Most heavyweight fighters are looking at winding down and looking to retire at this point. You only just come alive now in terms of the warm bodies that you're facing. You're only just now finally starting to get towards that top table. And it took you 41 fights. And you cherry picked your last fight. And you didn't win. All that bravado, all that bluster, and you didn't win. You didn't win. And it'll be really interesting if Fury didn't take up the rematch. And I don't think Deontay will be upset by that. I actually honestly think that he doesn't want to, he wouldn't want to fight Fury again. I don't think he's going to be in any rush to fight Fury again. If he does, I don't think it'll be immediate. I think he will want to get his mojo back and his bravado back. And you know what that means? Bum bashing again. He'll find someone ranked 14th, 13th, 12th, get them in, blow them away after 4 or 5 rounds, and then declare himself the baddest man on the planet again and feel good about the fact that his right hand still works. That's exactly what he's probably going to do. You know, he might, obviously, Brazil's bubbling away there in the background. He might fight Brazil. Brazil's all wrong for him. He knocks out Brazil. I mean, obviously, stranger things have happened, but that might not be a bad fight for him to take. You know, Brazil's got a decent. He's of a decent caliber. You know, he's not A level by no means. You know, that's a B level fighter, but it's better than the C's and D's that he's been fighting up until now. So I mean, Wilder's been he's been very lucky. This was a lucky year for him. It's interesting that the Wildettes are complaining about the length of the count, but none of them are talking about the 20 odd punches that he didn't respond to when Ortiz had him all up in a hot mess. No one said anything. They didn't say anything about the extra time he got between rounds. No complaints there. Nothing. It's interesting that they don't. They're quite happy for him to get all the time in the world that he needs to recover, but Fury can't get an extra 2 seconds. But you know, credit to the ref for not calling that off straight away, because others would have. He gave an opportunity for a guy who the ref probably would have thought he was up as well. Fury was up on the cards, an opportunity to see it out, and he did. And at the end of the day, Fury got up, and he ended up looking better than Wilder finishing that fight. Crazy.